All right, welcome back to a fresh short take here. New chart is up. Will we have the fact that there are nearly 500,000 more sellers in the housing market than buyers right now? Obviously, lots have changed over the last few years. Tell me what you think and how it might apply to, financial planning principles in your work.
Yep. So this is a very interesting chart. It's really interesting to see how those lines diverge and then converge pretty regularly. If you go back to 2013, right, the red line's up, blue line's down, then they kind of meet in the middle. But it's kind of a slingshot action of both of those lines, and now it's almost crossed towards the end there. After a huge divergence in the 2021 to 2023 space there. This, probably could have been predicted. Some people did probably predict this.
I think we predicted it, Will. Like I don't I don't mean to, cut you off there. Like look, but I'm pretty sure like we had extensive conversations in the office. I believe we wrote some blogs about it, about how, maybe be patient. I do feel like we talked a lot about being patient and waiting for,
Right.
The timing to be better.
Right. Yeah, so that is something interesting to note. As far as how it factors into your personal financial plan, I will say this is the exact reason why you do not purchase more home than you can afford. And especially if you're potentially on a variable income, you may be in a high commission position, and you're trying to stretch your dollars to purchase as much home as you can afford. You do that, and then potentially your income drops for whatever reason. But then you could be, in a situation where there's more sellers than buyers, and now you're potentially underwater on your home investment and struggling to make the payments with no buyers out there available. I'm actually just about to publish a blog about the rule of thumb when it comes to how much income you should spend towards your home. The rule of thumb is 28%, but keep an eye out for the blog based on what we think is the correct rule of thumb, or at least a better rule of thumb than potentially 28% of your gross income spent on your mortgage. But very, very interesting piece. We'll see how this plays out in terms of, are the homes going to be sold eventually? Will there be more buyers here in the near future? Or will some sellers be forced to potentially foreclose on these homes and potentially start a cascading effect of larger economic downturn?
Yeah, great point. I mean, on that, I think the steepness of that sellers is telling us something, right? Why this many this quickly?
Right.
And to me, obviously we're trying to read into this. To me, when I see that, I see a lot of people who need to get out of their home.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
where at in the last 12 years here are we looking at it? Was it this steep, and where it's like all of a sudden the best jobs are not in your county or state or not in your country and you have to move? Like I don't see that. I think the steepness of that the red sellers line, is certainly something to keep an eye on.
Yep. Definitely.
The other thing is, now's the time to buy. I remember back in 2021, 2022, everybody chasing after every home that hit the market. And I know that we talked through people around not chasing and not buying more than you could afford, that it would come back, market would get more into a buyer's market. And now here we are, but the buyers can't come in and buy. I don't know why we're not seeing those increases. It's just whether or not they've already purchased their homes and they're good. But
Yeah.
yeah, just this chart to me sums up, personal finance 101. And it's patience. It's always patience. Everything should be done with patience. Buying and selling anything, let alone homes. When you're taking such a big swing, 95% of homes are being purchased with a mortgage, right, or whatever it is, that patience is key here. How many people could have, just rented, for 18 to 24 months, and then now found themselves in an opportunity where they could be buying homes, at 90, maybe 80 cents on the dollar to what they could have bought them for just 2 years earlier.
Yep, very good point.
Patience, folks. Patience. It'll come back to you. Markets always revert back to the mean, and here we are again. So if you're out there shopping, now's the time to be aggressive with your offers. And if you're selling, I certainly hope you get, what you're asking for, at least what you owe on your house. So appreciate it, Will. Good conversation. Appreciate everybody watching. Let us know if we can do a quick video on anything that would interest you, and we'll talk to you all very soon.